everybody, I'm Rena or Strawberry, and this is my very first video. I want to start off by doing the booktube newbie tag. So the first question that we have is, what made you start booktube? So my main reason for starting this channel is that I wanted a place to discuss my ideas because I really don't have anybody to talk about the books that I've read with. I try to get my family to read books with me and my friends, but they don't really read what I read, or they just don't read at all. So the second question is, what are some unique things you can bring to booktube? I feel like that's a pretty open-ended question because I definitely feel that we all have our different strengths and ways that we shine. So for me, I'm honestly not sure. I have a pretty unique personality, but who doesn't have a different personality from the next person? So yeah, I guess we'll see what I have to bring. The third question is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? I've never been very comfortable with people recording me or being recorded, so that's a very new experience. The second thing that I'm most excited about is being able to share my thoughts and ideas with more people. So the fourth question is, why do you love reading? Whenever I was younger, I used to move around between these two places because my family was a little bit weird at the time. It was really hard to switch between the two schools, and then sometimes people would forget about me, or my friends from the year before would move away, and it was really lonely. Reading books really got me through that. I fell in love with certain characters, and it made me feel like I was actually friends with them, and it's like you're spending the day with them. It's just nice to have that escape sometimes. The fifth question is, what book or series got you into reading? That's a bit of a hard question because I've kind of gone in and out of reading ever since elementary school. Back then I used to read Judy Moody and Molly Moon's Incredible Book of Hypnotism. Those were my two favorite series. And then whenever I got to middle school, I really fell in love with the Ugly series. And then more recently, I actually began reading again after a very long hiatus after watching one of my favorite YouTuber in general's video on her favorites. She talked about reading this book called The Last Mrs. Parrish, and I just happened to go to Target and see it, and then I picked it up, and then I remembered how much I miss reading. So I started doing some research, and I decided to buy a couple other books that I was kind of interested in, and then my passion just reignited and I started buying even more books. I started reading even more, and since August I've actually read 22 books. I'm going to switch the order a bit on these two questions because I feel like one kind of goes into the other one. The seventh question is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? So I feel like the hardest challenge that I'll have to overcome is facing my own insecurities. Like I said before, I'm very uncomfortable with filming myself or being filmed. It can be kind of daunting to talk to yourself or to a camera, I guess. That leads me to the next question. What is a question that you have for your favorite booktubers? My question would be, how do you overcome your own insecurities with maybe an unpopular opinion that you have, or putting yourself out there in general? The eighth question is, when did you start reading? I honestly don't really remember. I think sometime in elementary school, maybe before that, maybe after that. Definitely before middle school, so that's my general time frame. The ninth question is, where do you read? I typically read just laying in my bed, or I'll read in the car. I don't really read like when I'm out in public because I get a little bit self-conscious or anxious when I feel that people are staring at me while I'm reading. It's kind of silly, but yeah. The last question is, what do you read? I don't really read any particular genre. I guess I have a lot of fantasy and contemporaries and dystopians, but I also have some classics. I try to keep a very wide range of genres, but I guess I mostly read and I love dystopian societies. Like the Ugly series really got me into dystopians. I really enjoyed Maze Runner, but as the series went on, I didn't like that too much, and one of my other favorite books is probably Ender's Game. So now we're at the end of the video. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll have some other videos to put up soon.